is to anchor into this sort of universal tribal message of we are all in this together right now. Everyone is being asked to evolve into the next highest iteration of themselves. And we don't exactly know what the environment is going to look like. And your tolerance for being able to operate in very ambiguous, unknown environments, the more you can expand and grow that muscle, the more it will serve you. Because the truth is, it's really scary. It's scary to be out there in the unknown. And you know the other thing, when you've been in the business for a while and you've grown up in your career and you're 20, 30 years deep, the likelihood is that you're probably really good at what you do. And when you're really good at this thing that you do, all the rewards come from continuing to do the thing you're really good at. Rewards from the external world, but also the intrinsic rewards of like, it feels good when I do things that I'm good at. But the leader of the future is someone who continually steps into the unknown, doing things they've never done before. And guess what? When you do those things, you're not going to be as good as what you've been doing for the last 25 years. So now you're out here feeling uncomfortable and making mistakes and risking looking foolish and risking situations where maybe people who report to you, who are 10, 20, 30 years younger than you, have it more figured out than you. All of that is going on. And your capacity to have enough humility and to tolerate the ambiguity serves you in this moment in time.
So the next question is, if organizations have and continue to succeed operating in this hierarchical structure, so will that mode of working ever go away, you think? I might be, in the mode of if you can't break it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's a great question. There's lots of organizations that are driven by fear and intimidation that ultimately produce results. I personally don't believe it's sustainable. And it's also a matter of how fast can your organization adapt and change to the changing marketplace. So while it's maybe worked in the past, I don't know that that will work in the future. With that being said, I am not suggesting that we're in a situation where we have to blow up hierarchy. Again, most of the clients I work with, NASA is not blowing up their org chart. But we have to recognize that, and I wrote this down, individual leadership behaviors are what break down hierarchy and bureaucracy. I don't have to sit back and think, this is outside of my control, we're never going away from hierarchy. It's my behaviors. And while I can't control everyone else on the finance department, how they lead, I control how I lead. And I'm gonna set a precedent with my culture. And you know what will happen? Word's gonna spread. And you will become a magnet for attracting the best talent. And I believe that will be true for organizations. And it is my mission to help individual leaders and organizations do that work. Brené Brown has, I think, just an absolutely fabulous definition of spirituality. And there's many good ones out there, but her definition is spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are inextricably connected to one another and to a power or a source greater than ourselves. And that connection, that our connection to each other and to something larger than us is rooted in love and belonging. And that when we practice spirituality, when we practice leading from a place of spirit, it fills us and those around us with more purpose, more meaning, and more perspective. What I want you to do is I want you to think about in your own life, when was the last time you felt deeply connected to something larger than yourself? And what I'd love for you to do is, I want you to jot down in the chat box, where were you? What were you doing? And I don't want you to have to write a long statement, but just when was the last time you felt deeply connected to something larger than yourself? Where were you? Oh, wow. Somebody wrote now. That's amazing. Beautiful. In nature. Wow, they're coming in so fast. Through prayer. Beautiful. Giving birth. Amazing. Beautiful. In Yellowstone Park. Right? Nature, right? Nature oftentimes makes us feel that connection, right? To something much, much larger than ourselves. These are amazing. It's been a long time. I know. Watching others grow, beautiful. The Stoics were classic at being able to say, I'm not going to just accept what is, I'm going to love what is. Now, that is the ultimate challenge. Can we sit in this pandemic? Can we sit in the lockdown? Can we sit in the impact to what's happening to our businesses and not simply accept it, but to love it? Can I sit here alone in this studio and say, instead of thinking that the pandemic was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my business, that it was actually the greatest thing that ever happened to my business? This is very difficult. I know, Andrea, I know. It's the most difficult. It's the most difficult to not just accept, but to love it. That this right now, this is actually helping me evolve into the next highest iteration of myself. This is forcing me to transform. This is forcing us to reimagine and reevaluate what the spa experience is. Gratitude begins when, that's a beautiful statement. Gratitude begins when entitlement ends. You're absolutely right. You know, there's so many things that we feel we've been entitled to. And it's like you let that go and you shift into a space of appreciation. Can I show gratitude for everything that's happened? As lonely and as sometimes disconnecting as it feels to be communicating to you through this camera, it's like, how do I shift my perspective and say, maybe this is helping me become a better teacher. It's forcing me to level up my game. Like, if I'm really honest, did I use my energy and the bigness of a stage and video and PowerPoint to sort of overcome the ability to do what? To simply sit and have a conversation? Can I bring my full presence enough through the camera that you and I can have this dialogue and have it be impactful? And you know what? I'm better today than I was 6 months ago, and hopefully if I keep working, I'll be better 6 months and 6 years from now. And that is playing out for you in the business too. This is forcing you to level up in places. And so can I say, Amore Vedi, I love it. I love it. Give me more. I don't just accept it, I love it.